Hi, my name's Skizo2, aka Skizo. I'm a professional BMX racer and I ride for MTN Cycling.
It's been great how many world champions we get down here in the studio in Cape Town, and today it's welcome to Skizo. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Good, man. BMX Olympian and former junior world champion from this part of the world. And as you can see, he's injured at the moment, so that's one of the reasons he's in the studio with us. We'll get down to your injury. How does a Soweto native get to be like a World Cup BMX rider?
Dream, man. You got to dream big, and I was just given the opportunity later on in life to turn that into reality. So pretty fortunate, and just had a big goal as a kid to become something one day, and happy it turned out good.
It's probably like a tricky question. I'm sure you get asked it all the time, but I mean, it is like a lot of people have heard of Soweto, and it's like a township area. It's obviously not an affluent area. It's in Africa, etc. I mean, it's not likely, and that's why I think we all particularly noticed you when last year in the Olympics. You're now appearing for South Africa, and guys are saying, well, he's a black rider, he's from Soweto, and he looks like he might even be taking like Olympic podium and that. Like, what do you think the main reason is that you got to be from somebody who's just enjoying riding to being like a former junior world champion? What makes that difference between you and the rest of the guys you used to ride with?
Well, I think just hard work and dedication. I really put my head down, when I was younger, and I had a lot of fun, and I think that helped me take it a step further. I have a lot of passion for what I do, and that goes a really, really long way in this profession and stuff. So just giving myself a chance to try to do the best I can, and just staying motivated and determined.
But the talent side of it is always a big thing when you get to the high end of sports. I mean, were you good at sports across the board, do you think? Or
yeah.
Like, what else were you doing before you really got down and serious about your BMX?
When I was young, I did swimming, cricket, soccer, rugby, athletics, tennis, everything. So I was kind of all over the show, and once I figured out there was a place where I could race BMX and stuff, I decided to kick my soccer boots off and give a bicycle a shot, and haven't looked back ever since. But I think that definitely helped me, being in a team environment as a kid and learning how to deal with different people every day, definitely helped me find out who I am, and that team sports really wasn't for me, and I went the individual route, where you're in control of when you train, when you don't train, and your results is all your glory. So it's not as if the team loses, it doesn't matter how you played. Even if you played well, it's a reflection of the team. So I think it was definitely the right route for me, and it's worked out awesome. So I'm very lucky.
And your first bicycle, what age, and also what age did you start to take it really, really seriously, and what age did you turn pro?
My first bike was just a regular freestyle bike you can get from your local bike store. Not really into the proper racing stuff, and I think that was my first bike I had, and it took me to my first race, and I finished third that first weekend, and it worked out really good since then. In terms of turning pro and taking things seriously, I started obviously racing at a club level, then went to provincials and tried myself out at the national championships, and that was when I was 13 years old, and 2 years down the line I found myself at the world championships at 15, and I think that's where it all became clear, where I saw all the other big guys from overseas and from the other countries who actually do it for a living.
Yeah.
Those guys pretty much gave me the motivation to aspire to be like them one day, and that's when I started taking things seriously, started riding more, and focusing more on my sport as a kid, and what I can do to better myself as a racer.
The Olympics, I want to ask you, how is it different to like a World Cup meet? I mean, is there any difference in the track? Is there any difference in the intensity? How was your experience last year?
Man, it's something I can't explain. I pretty much have to say you have to be there to experience it. But
figure.
I mean, from a sense, I mean, it's the pinnacle of every sport. That's the biggest sporting event in the world. It only happens every 4 years, and it's a very small select group that get to compete at that. So I felt very privileged to be there representing South Africa and all my sponsors, and things worked out pretty good. The track was really, really hard, but I trained really, 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 really hard.
You say like technically difficult? Or?
Yeah, really technical, really fast, and something a lot of the guys aren't used to, something we don't race on a consistent basis. So it tests you on all levels, endurance, power, speed, and obviously skills.
Yeah. And Skizo, what happened? Because I mean, you were kicking ass, and we were all rooting for you to actually, be on the podium, get yourself a medal, and just walk us through what happened towards the finals. And the finals.
Preparation-wise, before that race, I put a lot of hard work in, and I felt really good on the day. Qualified pretty easy through my motos, and was thinking really smart during the racing, and came into the final, and that's race everyone is there to watch, is the main event, and it was the first main Olympic event for BMX in history, and I was in the top 8, so very privileged. And it got to that point where as part of our sport we crash, and the smallest mistake or the smallest judgment, like where you judge something wrong, could cost you the race. And you got to that point in the second turn where I brushed elbows with an American guy, and that took down half the field. So it happens, and it's sad that the Olympics is once in every 4 years, and I'm looking forward to getting that medal in 2012 in London.
Fantastic. And the intensity, the nerves before a race, it must be intense. And what's the worst part, like the last couple of hours before you ride, before your moto, before the finals, or when you get onto the starting gate?
I think firstly it's probably the first moto of the day, because you just want to get that one out of the way, and then the nerves are gone after that, and pretty much there's nothing you can do to change on the day. There's nothing that can change your performance on the day. You just have to keep your head on tight and have fun. Because
what do you do to relax though? To calm down?
I listen to music in between my motos, and just think about the next race. Think about the previous race, what I did wrong, what can I do to improve my next lap, and just try to stay calm and have fun on my bike.
And overall at the Olympics, your experience, like what was the best part of the whole time you were there?
I think probably the closing ceremony for me, because I was a flag bearer for South Africa, and it was a great experience. Holding the flag and leading the crowd through, and it was just an experience I can't explain. So many people were there, and a lot of emotions. Throughout the whole week we were there. The pre-contest emotions, and afterwards, it's all done, and you think, well, I just trained 4 years for 30 seconds around the track, and it all ended in 15. So. Yeah. It's quite sad, and it's part of what you do, but it only makes you stronger. You just got to pick yourself up and keep your head up.
Yeah, it's a great privilege to be given the flag for the closing ceremonies there. So this year already you put together that sort of never before winning streak of 6 World Cup wins in a row. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was 6 European.
6 European.
Yep.
Was it your 7th that you got your current injury?
Yeah, we're training to go race the 7th and the 8th, and we're out training just before leaving, and things just turned a bit different to what I expected, and had a bit of an accident there, and had some surgery done over in Norway, and flew home. So I've been home for about a month and a half now, recovering with my injury, and looking to come back strong next year.
All right, so it was quite serious, particularly in the beginning. I remember getting the press release on it. It looked like it might be pretty serious. Just tell us sort of what happened with the impact, and maybe we can get the helmet, and about this neck brace, because that's one of the reasons you're in Cape Town is to have a look at this technology that's kind of helping you. It's more towards riders versus for prevention. Is it to fix your neck and this sort of thing? Just tell us what the guys are doing for you.
Well, yeah, I've spent the last couple of hours here in Cape Town, went to go visit the guys at Let Brace and had a good chat with them, and it's great to see the amount of technology and time and effort they put into protecting people's lives, because that's what they're all about.
Let's take a look. So they've made this specially for you, right?
Yes, pretty much especially for BMX, downhill, mountain bike and motocross. It's just a piece of equipment that goes around your neck when you're racing. It prevents you from tilting your head too far back to the sides or too much in front. So it's pretty much just a barricade that stops you from having those movements that will
amazing. It's almost like a Formula One kind of thing. It keeps you really stable.
Crazy. Yeah. So I'm really privileged to be with them, and looking forward to using their product when I'm.
Let's check out your helmet. Just show us briefly the impact, because it was on the top of your head. You came down. So you reckon if you were wearing that, the injury wouldn't have been as bad?
Probably. I mean, there's no piece of equipment that can, cross out all forms of injury, but it probably would have prevented it. As you can see here on the side, on top, there's a direct crash on the top of the helmet, and that's how I landed upside down on my head, and there's a great amount of impact on the side there where the helmet actually cracked. So, luckily enough, this wasn't my head, and that's what helmets are for, is to protect you for those small injuries and things like that.
Totally. And the surgery, what do the guys have to do?
Well, they went through the front of my neck, and they did a fusion. I have a plate in there with 4 screws and a spacer. So pretty hectic. I've got some hardcore pieces of metal in there.
All right. So when are you back competing again?
I'll probably look at coming back strong at the beginning of next year.
Okay.
I think I'll take the rest of the year off to recover properly and start training again, and hopefully do really good. The World Championships are going to be here in South Africa next year, so looking to do good at that event. A
little bit about your bike. What's so special about it, and maybe tell us why you ride on the number 105.
Well, my bicycle is the Intense Podium. With some components on Chris King stuff, really high end market stuff, and really light and durable. I'm sponsored by